Influencers telling me what to wear and do is making me lose my sense of expression.
A little different than all the rest. I'm quite old-fashioned, wear a hat sometimes.
I think this came up from because one of the creators that I was watching was talking about how she was influenced into the white shirt and the basic minimalist subculture that was really in, especially like in 2018, 2019. You know, recently I was looking into my closet and I was trying to declutter. You know, I've read Marie Kondo, I've watched countless capsule wardrobe videos. Our identity now is like marked by this thing of like quite luxury and like minimal jewelry and all these things, and we do that with even like our room and the glassware we have and the tech we have. Everything has to be this minimal thing that says something about who we are, our identity as people. It is quite disturbing. Micro trends doesn't help that either, because it does make us think that we have to continually redefine our identity based on what is algorithmically kind of given to us as like, this is you, this is what you like. A lot of us have stopped playing around with expression and identity, because in order for you to find your own identity and expression, you have to play a lot. You have to try different hats. When I really got into thrifting, I think this was probably 2017, like I was like in college. A lot of my inspo was coming from a different world, living single, because those were shows I was consuming like a lot. And then I was going to like poetry, like stage events, a lot of like community events. It was like a mishmash of like things I like on other people, and I was like, oh, I like this. What does it look like if I was to customize this for myself? And I did a lot of that, and it was really fun to thrift then. But now we have this algorithmic curated things that we're supposed to emulate and also almost duplicate based on what these influencers are telling us, like what our style should be. Like obviously we should always assess our relationship with stuff. Technology has become like another accessory instead of like this functional thing that we're using, another marker of our identity. Same thing with our rooms. My friend and I were talking about how we have this like identity around like hosting and glassware and hosting ware. Like that is a whole market, right? And it is driving us to consume and consume and consume for more things and to create things that reflect aesthetics of influencers. We actually see a lot more influencers' homes, a lot of influencers' clothing, a lot of influencers' phone, what their phone look like. That's another thing that you're supposed to have an aesthetic of. Then we do each other's house. And so now our perception of what is supposed to look normal in our own circle is completely deterred by what we see online, what we see on Pinterest, what we see on Instagram, what we see on YouTube. There's a lot of YouTubers and Pinterest videos that talk about garment and cut and, you know, all these things that I'm not really aware of because I'm not like in the fashion industry. I'm just a regular person. Those are really helpful. There's people that I follow for that. The problem comes when everybody has a need to be so obsessed with like material. Comfort is really important, and what we consume and what we spend money on should have a value that feels like important to, like, if we're gonna wear it or if we're gonna like actually have it long term. A lot of materials have degraded over the years. A lot of the things that we see online are things that are very cheap, and they usually are sold at a wholesaler. They usually get it from the same place, and they just kind of mark up the price based on who they are. I am really utilizing my Buy Nothing group, which is, if you don't know what Buy Nothing is, it's a neighborhood based app or Facebook. You can give away things, you can volunteer like services, errands, you can give away stuff, declutter, without like attaching money to it. There is this obsession of capsuling everything. You should have like 8 glassware, 8 plates. This universalization and curating our life according to what influencers are telling us like how we should do it. That's their business, you know? A lot of them are selling their lifestyle, and we are living normal human lives out here as working class people. Yet we're trying to emulate the lives of millionaires who make thousands and thousands of dollars for posting a room tour. That's why these lifestyle specific videos are so popular on YouTube, because a lot of them are aspirational content. A lot of interior design really emphasizes like the gallery wall, like what should your gallery wall look like. If you like it, just put it up, you know what I'm saying? I'm just worried that we're turning our houses and our closets and our kitchens, the things that we should be living in and enjoying with other people and other, animal companions, with whatever the thing is, with other living things, the things that should feel lived in, we're turning them into shrines. And I feel like a lot of this universalized advice and tips could be really helpful, right? Like, because like I said, we're regular human beings living our day-to-day. Of course we should get access to some of these like industry standard tips that it was always reserved for wealthy people who had the time and the resources. Absolutely, I think it's great that we are getting that sort of access in a way that we haven't before, but I think we have kind of gone a little bit too far the other side, where now we're getting this advice in a vacuum that doesn't feel like it is getting us closer with our communities. Of course, yeah, like I learned a lot about like lighting and plants and not having too many things in my home so it doesn't feel too crowded and all of those things. I also feel like these tips have gone to a point where now we have identical homes. People are afraid of seeing each other's homes and closets and kitchens without it getting the proper adequate seating, and I have, heard multiple times, and including myself, like, oh, I don't have enough seating, so I can't be inviting my friends. I don't have enough side tables, and I can't be inviting my friends. I feel like that is like, that's sickness. That's a sickness that we're not addressing with all these tips of interior design. No matter how beautiful your home is, if it doesn't have humans in it and people running around, people laughing and listening to music and dancing, I feel like you are just designing a shrine. And I think that's really sad. I just feel like there is this curation of every part of our life. What type of hats I should wear, what type of jewelry should I wear, should I have chunky jewelry? It used to be so fun to wear clothes, to have things in your clothes that you actually genuinely love, but now you're curating and emulating the lives of people who have no business telling you what to do with your lives, and of perceiving that as normal everyday lives. If rather these are curated, beautifully organized lives for our eyes, like we're supposed to feast on them. And of course, like, it's fine for inspirationals and stuff like that, but that's when things like, basics and like how graphic design and like colorful clothes, like flattering things, I think that turns into something else very quickly. The creator that I really like was talking about how the grandpa chic trend is like big right now. People dressing like the grandpa aesthetic and then kind of dressing it up as like also very trendy. I think a lot of us are in loss of an identity, and we're looking for different ways of filling that hole with things. It gets really complicated really fast because you're like, oh, this is so cute, let me just try this trend, or let me try this hat. Like this hat, I remember seeing it multiple places, and I was gonna buy it like full price online, and then I went to a thrift store just randomly a couple of months ago, and I was just like, this is so cute. I love red. I think red looks so good on any skin color, and I got it because it was like $4 or something. And now everybody's like, where did you get it? It sounds like I'm gatekeeping or something, and I'm like, no, like that's where I got it, and it was accidental. I think about like even jewelry, like micro trend jewelry. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about when I say that, but micro trend jewelry has ruined the way that jewelry is supposed to be this fun but also experimental thing that is for people who like jewelry. It doesn't have to be this expression of who you are, what your age is. It's supposed to kind of be playful. Everything that we do has become this like aspirational lifestyle curation. I'm at the point where in my life I have to ask myself, like, do I like this? Am I influenced into this? And a lot of time I am influenced to get that thing. This, I got it because I watched a K-drama. I feel like this would look really good with oversized pants, and I got it. That is consumption based on what we're consuming. Kind of referring to my previous video, I was talking about one of the detriment of consuming a lot of stuff and drowning in a bunch of content that other people have made. You're also exposed to a lot of advertisements. Advertisements these days look like aspirational content. Someone is sharing their life, their turmoil and all that, but also promoting what the juice they're drinking is that morning, or what type of curtains they are using. Oh, and then you look it up and it's like $200 and you're like, I'll save up money so that I can get these curtains. I have a big trip coming up in April. The place I'm going to has, like, you know, beaches and stuff, and this is something that I never knew existed. And someone talked about a sand-free towel, and I looked up how much it was. It was like an Australian brand, and it was like $60 for a fucking towel. What are we doing? What are we doing, y'all?